Thank you. Yeah, I didn't know, so I was like kind of looking, yeah.
Okay, stand by 3 seconds.
San Diego County Office of Emergency Services is teaming up with SDSU Center for Human Dynamics in the Mobile Age to reach out to 1,000 local Twitter users in hopes of getting important disaster information to more people. My guest, SDSU geography professor Ming So, is director of the Center for Human Dynamics. And welcome back, Dr. So. The Center for Human Dynamics in the Mobile Age, they actually tracked Twitter use during the most recent wildfires. What did you learn?
Yeah, we started using the API to analyzing those Twitter during the summer wildfire. And what we find is interesting is those tweets actually come from the area, actually when the activity is going on, the wildfire perimeter. And so the hotspot is actually is corresponding to actual fire perimeter.
So the hotspots of Twitter users were corresponding to the actual hotspots of the fires
yes.
and the perimeter there. In this new project, you actually want to engage 1,000 influential Twitter users here locally to help broadcast this important information, let's say during a disaster. What makes them influential, and what would their role be in this?
Yeah, I think the way we communicate in the social media is different from the traditional message or the channels. And because the social networks, so the most powerful people in social media is the people has a lot of followers, a lot of retweets. So we are using those computational algorithms, try to analyzing, like there's a 30,000 followers for the San Diego County official Twitter account. So we go through the list, analyzing, identify the ranking of those influential index. And after we identify the top 1,000 influential people, then we reach out, ask them for the volunteer to retweet.
How would this be different than what the county is already offering as far as Twitter accounts or Twitter alerts?
Yeah, right now the county procedure of most of the government agency procedure is a passive way. So they encourage people to subscribe their Twitter account, they get a message. But this platform is a very active active platform to recruit the volunteer, to identify the power of a social network, to disseminate. We want to accelerate the information distribution through the social network power.
It almost sounds like they'd be kind of team leaders on the Twitter universe that would kind of be responsible. And it's a volunteer situation.
Yes.
Walk us through the process. How would it work, let's say, during a fire?
So before the wildfire, we already try to use those computational algorithms to identify those 1,000 volunteers who has influential, but we also want to make sure they are in San Diego. So make sure, because only the people in San Diego has a maximum influential, not just on cyberspace, but in real world connections. So when the disaster happens, the county office of emergency service will send out the message, but we'll create a system to rebroadcasting the message to those 1,000 followers, ask them to retweet it. And the system will actually monitor whether they did retweet or not, and will send a reminder. And also to monitor how these retweets reach out to other people. So we have a performance evaluation index.
I know, and that brings me to my next question. We've seen in the past that early details during a disaster are often incomplete or sometimes actually incorrect. How is the county going to track that? Is it going to be similar to tracking the retweets?
Yeah, so actually the whole system is a two-way. One is to disseminate information, distribute through the volunteer work. The other one to receive or monitor information from the whole county of San Diego during the disaster. So the system, we're going to identify the top 10, the most popular URL retweets during the disaster. Then the officer can go through the list to see which one is correct, which one is incorrect. And then if we find out incorrect information, they can have an update immediately.
They can correct it on the spot. What about people who don't use Twitter? We know Twitter skews young, under age 25. So what about seniors, grandparents? What about, are they going to be left out?
No, actually, there's one component in the project is we were trying to reach out those health providers or the caregivers and try to introduce our new system to these people, to the nursing home, to the hospital. And then so hopefully they also be part of our network system. But also another aspect is when we recruit these top 1,000 volunteers, they are young generation of people, San Diegans. They are the future of our community. And this platform will encourage them to play a very active way to participate our community, become the protector or scout for those senior people.
And hopefully they are close to their seniors and their families and might actually send those messages to them as well. How soon will the county be able to begin this program?
Yeah, so the project just started 1 month ago, and this is a whole 4-year project, but we try to implement this prototype within 6 months. So hopefully before the next year summer, we should implement the system and we'll be prepared for the summer disaster or any kind of emergency situation.
All right. Well, Professor Ming So, keep us up to date on that. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you. My pleasure.